Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Disney Lorcana video, and today we have a new reveal for you. I did make a post about this yesterday, but I do want to do a video giving my thoughts on this and what the market implications can be. So we did officially get revealed the Hector Rivera, which is the last D23 promo. I predicted this in a previous video when we saw the silhouette of it, but we actually have the effect of the card. And so I'm going to tell you what the effect of the card is, and then I want to talk about in this video what the market implications could be. Now, this is very, very early, right? We haven't had very many reveals for the next set, but this is kind of the game you need to play if you're going to be doing like kind of market prediction, things like that. Every single card can have implications, so it's up to you to look at every card and think of how could this affect the market? What other cards could this affect? So in this video, I'm going to tell you what Hector does, and then we're going to look at cards that could be impacted by just him getting revealed. Now, keep in mind, this is very early, so we don't know what the rest of the support is going to look like. So this is very early speculation, so take it with a grain of salt. Just because I talk about a card in here doesn't mean it's going to spike and go up in value. These are just things I would maybe be looking at based on this reveal. So Hector is a Singer 6. He costs 4. He's a 5/3. While you have a song in your discard, this character gets 1 lore pip and gains evasive. So very simple, but there's a lot we can kind of glean from this, right? This is telling us that probably the Coco stuff is going to be a song-based deck. So this tells us just in general, there is going to be song support in the next set. So you could look at songs from any color, right? You could look at amber, you could look at steel, whatever. But what I want to look at in this video is what kind of red stuff could get impacted. Because we can see that Hector is red, there's probably going to be a push for red song decks in some way. So what I would be thinking about right now is how can I prepare for that in terms of the market, whether it's make sure I have my play sets of things just so I have it, and also what cards do I maybe want to buy into because I think they're going to go up in price and maybe I want to make some money, right? So let's just start by looking at red songs. So I do know that songs of other colors could get impacted because obviously this is probably going to be maybe red amber, could be red steel, could even be red emerald, right? Like there's a lot of colors that have good songs in it. But for this video, I'm going to focus just on red because that's what Hector is. So that tells us there's going to be a red song Coco theme kind of in this next set. So things you can look at, Red Moon Ritual is a very powerful song that was just released. Also, the Red Panda stuff has to do with songs as well. So you could be thinking of maybe that Red Panda stuff could get a push as well. So just think about that. But right now, I've done a video on Red Moon Ritual before, and I'm going to look specifically at the cold foil. I think the uncommons will continue to be readily available cheap. But right now, the cold foils are only 80 cents, which isn't bad. If Red Moon Ritual ends up getting heavily used in new song decks, this could very easily push up to a $2, $3, $4 cold foil, maybe even higher. So I would just be thinking about getting your cold foil copies of Red Moon Ritual. Grab Your Bow. This is already a card seeing play. Very, very powerful red song card. It's got really good removal, destroys aggro decks. 75 cents, once again, to $1. On the cold foil, this once again could be a multiple dollar cold foil if it takes off, if these new red song decks are going to be good. Eye to Eye, couple of things going for it, right? It's from Fabled. It's actually a very good song. Sing Together 9, and that new Hector is a Singer 6, so a very powerful way to quickly get up to this. Draw 2 cards, gain 2 lore, and then you ready the characters that sang it. Very good, because then those characters ready up and sing again. Eye to Eye is definitely a card I would be looking at. The regular ones are fairly cheap at like 50 cents, but the cold foils right now are about $1.50 to $2. This is a cold foil that I could see really going high, especially because it is from Fabled. So this is one you might want to be thinking about picking up or making sure you have your copies of if you want nice cold foil copies. A Pirate's Life. Now this is a card that has had an interesting kind of lifespan within the game. It's had really hot points in the game where it gets really high. It's had kind of lower points where it's not played as much. Right now, Pirate's Life is kind of at a low. It does have 2 competing versions. We have Ursula's Return, we have Fabled. The non-foils are going to be very cheap and easy to get, but I'm going to look specifically at the cold foils. If we look at the Ursula's Return in the very, very long term, you can see there was a hot point on this card where it was $7, $8, $6 on cold foils. Not many sales, but some did go. So it has that potential to be quite high, and then it's just been on a slow decline ever since because the card has had less and less usage. So cold foil Pirate's Life right now you can get for 60 cents, 80 cents, under a dollar, right? We look at the Fabled version. It did get a reprint. The Fabled one is a little bit cheaper at like 50 cents. This is a card that I think for the song decks, it is a 6 cost, so it fits perfectly with what Hector is doing. I think this will be played. So picking up Cold Foil Pirate's Life, I think either version's probably a pretty good idea. I could see this going well above $1, $2, $3, $4 if it takes off. Once again, this is very speculative. We've only seen one card, but this is kind of like what you have to do if you want to get ahead of the market. You kind of have to see the cards before they spike. These are cards I would be looking at. Be King Undisputed, I'm not sure how heavily it'll be played, but it is a song, it is a removal card, so just wanted to show that the cold foils on this is like 60 cents. I don't feel as confident on this one, but it could be played. 35 cents for the Fabled version, so once again, 2 versions, very accessible, very easy to get. If you want to, gamble at a little bit of a higher level, there is an Epic that is currently $12, $13, $14. It's already fairly high. This is one that, once again, this is just a Fabled Epic, and I think everything from Fabled has just in general gone up. This could be one that if Be King Undisputed is heavily played, like I could see this shooting up to 20 bucks. So if you want to gamble a little bit higher, I don't feel as strong about this as the other songs, but it definitely could be played. So it's up to you if you want to gamble on that one or not. Whoops, that page shouldn't even be there. Then after the songs, so those are just... Basically, I was just looking at red songs that could be used in core right now, but then we want to look at Powerline. And I've kind of been screaming about Powerline in several videos just when talking about Fabled. Powerline is exclusive to Fabled, and Fabled is a very expensive set to get into. So just in general, I was already talking about Powerline is just a collectible pickup, but now... I think Powerline's going to be back in the forefront. When I think of red songs, I think of Powerline. It is a song-based theme, and these characters all have powerful singer abilities and revolve around songs. So to me, the strongest thing I want to emphasize in this video is if you want to be prepared for red Coco song decks, I would be getting Powerline stuff now, like as soon as possible, because Powerline has such potential to grow because of how inaccessible Fabled stuff is. So if we look at just the regular Powerline 3 cost, it is a regular rare, right now very accessible at 25 cents for the non-foil. What you might want to look at is there's actually a couple of versions of this card. The regular cold foils are at $1. I think this could be a really good version to pick up if you want to go on the cheaper route. I think there's going to be people that if they do start running Powerline stuff, they are going to want to foil out the deck, and this is a little bit more affordable. There is an Epic. This one actually, like being cheaper than King Undisputed, to me this is a much safer pickup. There is somebody here that has 4 of them at $11. Not bad to pick up that playset. If you're willing to throw $45 down and get a playset of these, not the worst idea. Now, this guy might not be essential to the deck. It's just if you've played a song, he gains rush. So he can just come out as like a rush character. The song deck might not even care about rush. So there's a little bit of risk that out of the power lines, this one might not even get played. But if it does get played, I think this Epic could go really, really crazy. I think this is also just safe to pick up because I think Powerline is going to be very collectible as an Epic. I myself might consider picking some of these up. Then this Powerline I think is going to be really huge. He is a Shift 4 and he has Singer 9, right? So he can sing like some of these big bad songs we just talked about. Red Moon Ritual, the 9 cost song that I had up there. A lot of crazy things this guy can do, right? So he can just sing Eye to Eye on his own if you want to, but you usually want to sing it with more than one character. But then, yeah, he can just sing Red Moon Ritual, which is pretty crazy, right? So Shift 4, Singer 9, when he sings a song, you look at the top 4, you can reveal a song and play it for free. This guy is cracked for song decks. So this is the number one guy I'd be looking at. Well, you want to look at this. I suppose, though, if we're looking at it, I mean, let me see. This Powerline, I suppose you could have in there just as a shift target. So I think the 3 cost does have more value just because you're going to want it as a shift target. So yeah, I think the 3 cost is going to be safe to pick up. But yeah, this guy here, yeah, just to be able to shift forward, because you could play the 3 cost on turn 3, you could play this guy on 4, you could start singing like crazy. So this guy right now, he is a super rare from Fabled, right? He's already like rising. Like this guy was like $1 and he's already now into the $3 range. So this guy's already been noticed, right? It hasn't taken long. We have a couple of versions of this guy. Cold foil at 250. The cold foil right now, I would be picking up over the non-foil because it's pretty close in price, but very quickly the cold foils are up into $4 or $5. And then this guy has the exclusive starter deck foil, and the starter deck foil now is approaching $5, right? And this has also, it did take a dip in June, but now it is on the rise again. This starter deck foil is what I would be aiming for. Like this card, I could very easily see this being like a $15 card. You're locked right now behind a Fabled starter deck that I believe is going for 35, 37. Let's just look it up really quick. Let's just check what the Fabled starter deck is. Sorry, my keyboard is kind of crap right now. So we're just going to do this editing on the fly here. And then we want to go to product type, sealed products. And then we're just going to jump in. All right, so here's the starter deck. So, oh, yeah, and a lot of these are just out of stock. Well, I'm filtered to cold foil probably on this page, aren't I? Yeah, let me just, oh, no, I'm not filtered. Are these actually sold out? So this right here. Clear filters. Okay, I had some filter on, so they're not actually sold out. But yeah, the starter decks themselves are on the rise. Starter decks right now are actually $46. So we have already, I mean, this is just natural because of Fable going crazy. And keep in mind, the starter deck has a sealed booster pack in it. And I think the booster packs alone are going for like $30+. So it makes sense that the starter decks are getting there. So keep in mind, that hollow foil Powerline is locked behind right now a roughly $50 starter deck. So that thing is only going to grow and go crazy. There's also a max goof that you get in the same one that you could just be looking at in terms of collectability. So I would 100% be looking at these hollow foils of this Powerline, because that is going to be the high rarity of this card and people are going to be wanting it. So yeah, just, well, I think there might be a Powerline Enchanted too, but like we'll talk for that. And then this guy here, this 2 cost Singer 4, this guy absolutely is going to get played in there if the Powerline stuff takes off, which I think it will. This guy is your main shift target. He comes out on turn 2 instead of turn 3, has Singer 4. Cold foil is only 50 cents out of Fabled. No brainer. I would try to secure a playset of this guy in cold foil if you can. And then Roxanne, not directly a Powerline, but if you have a Singer in play, she gets 1 attack and 1 lore pip. Make sure a 3/3 quest for 2 on turn 2. This is going to combo well with the Coco stuff, because there's going to be Coco stuff that has Singer. We already know that the Hector does. I think Roxanne could see some play as well. 50-cent cold foil. So just a lot to be looking at, you guys, but the Powerline stuff is already starting to go. So I would just 100% be jumping on Powerline right now. If you guys like these types of videos, please like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. We are about to hit 400 subs. This channel is only a little over a month old. It's very new. And I would love to hit 500 subs. If we could do it, you know, by mid-September, that would be awesome. Once we get to 500 subs, then the channel can really take off from there. So really appreciate all of the support so far. If you like these conversations, please join my Discord. My Discord is posted in the link. A link is posted in the description of all my videos. Thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one.